So, here at BSM, we aim to develop students as positive global citizens who are equipped with skills and understanding of values to be able and willing to contribute to our world. Now, we're absolutely delighted today to share with you the experiences of Sari Cycle. Sari Cycle is a nonprofit organization led by a group of students that aim to help solve socioeconomic issues in the Philippines. And these include poverty and unemployment. Now, as a result of their endeavor, Sari Cycle provides job opportunities to the unemployed Filipinos by constructing numerous startup Sari stores in different communities in the Philippines. These will be owned and operated by the community members themselves, and not only will they supply the Sari stores goods and displays, but they'll also guide the owners on how to run profitable businesses. So they're here today to tell us a little bit more about their initiative so that the community may be inspired, and hopefully we'll see future BSM students reach out into their communities to help create greater impact. Okay, super excited to be here today with members of the Sari Cycle Youth Enterprise. It's a social enterprise, I believe, and we're going to unpack that a little further. So, Johnny, I'd firstly like to ask you to introduce the members of your group and explain who's here presently, what are their roles, but also a little bit about the broader group.
Okay, sure.
Yep.
So in total, we have 7 people in Sari Cycle.
Mhm.
Me, myself, I'm a project associate.
Oh, I'm Aiden Walker. I'm a project associate as well.
I'm Diego Reno, and I'm the Personal Relations Director.
I'm Paulo Velasco, and I'm the Assistant Head of Finance.
We have 3 other members who aren't currently present, but those are the founder, Michaela Lim, the finance officer, Matthew Chua, and the project officer, Shrey Gupta also.
Okay, so you've featured a lot in the headlines. You were in last week's assembly. Super exciting. Tell me a little bit about what exactly is Sari Cycle and how did you come up with the idea?
Now, Sari Cycle is a nonprofit organization that is run by students here in BSM. And essentially, our goal is to solve socio-economic problems in the Philippines, such as poverty and other similar problems, by helping people create their own Sari stores. And essentially, how it started was our founder, Michaela Lim, was inspired by her grandparents who ran a Sari store.
Brilliant. So for those who are not familiar with the term Sari, who perhaps haven't lived in the Philippines for a while, how would you explain what a Sari store is?
So a Sari store is like a convenience store, but it's such as 7-Eleven, but it's much more family owned and small in comparison, and it's usually within a section of a family's home.
Brilliant. Thank you. Okay, so one of my questions is this. So why did you specifically decide to target Sari stores for your nonprofit organization?
So with Sari stores, it has a strong significance in Filipino culture.
Mhm.
And with all of us growing up here, we kind of felt it was right to base it off that, because generally they can be quite cheap to build, and it's much easier for someone in an impoverished area to run Sari stores as opposed to a bigger, larger business. So being able to go there and teach them how to run a Sari store and build that for them and help them out with that, it creates more of a sustainable and sustainable base for financial stability.
Okay, and in terms, if we look at BSM, right, we put a lot of emphasis on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We build it into our curriculums. It features quite heavily in our classrooms. How do you think you are acting as agents of change in tackling some of these issues?
So yeah, in terms of the Sustainable Development Goals, the main ones we focused on were sustainable cities and communities, reduced inequalities, and decent work and economic growth. So yeah.
Yeah, and we believe that Sari Cycle will inspire other students as well as other businesses to implement these sustainable development goals, in hopes that we can work towards a step closer to achieving those sort of goals.
Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, so when it comes to enterprise and building businesses in general, we often talk about 3 things. We talk about the intention, we talk about implementation, and then we talk about impact.
Yep.
So I was wondering if you could tell me just a little bit about more of this and your endeavors through Sari Cycle.
So yeah, the original intention of Sari Cycle, stated by Diego earlier, was that we aim to help impoverished areas in the Philippines to gain some sort of financial stability through these Sari stores. So the implementation of that actually required us to physically go there, build up the Sari stores for them, or some of them actually had houses which already had somewhat of a sari sari store in them, but they just needed help with actually getting supply.
Okay.
So it required us to help them with that, and since we have connections with like a chain of supermarket stores called Super 8 over here, they helped us in supplying the sari sari stores with that. So yeah, in terms of the impact, you can talk
Yeah,
about
of course, there's a great impact, of course, because we are able to make fulfilling changes with for the lives of people who are living in the kind of conditions that they've had to live in, and through, of course, the pandemic, the difficulties they've had to go through financially. So it's, of course, provided them some level of stability in that kind of sector.
Okay, great. And where do you see the next phase of Sari Cycle? Where are you headed?
So far, Sari Cycle has worked on building communities within Luzon, and we would love to expand our reach to other areas like in Mindanao and Visayas as well. Beyond that, we also want to encourage other young students to try and take on some initiatives of their own, because there's really no limit to how much positive contribution we can make.
Real sense of hope there. I'm loving it. Okay, so part of BSM's mission statement is focused on global citizenship. So we aim to develop students who grow then on to become positive global citizens who are then equipped with the skills, the understanding, and the values then to go out and be able to contribute to the world. Yeah, which you essentially have done. So what do you think it means then to be a global citizen?
I think to be a global citizen is to be someone who actively seeks to engage with cultures that differ from their own. And what makes like a real global citizen is someone who has a lot of respect for these communities and a willingness and desire to kind of learn from them. But not only that, I think a true global citizen is someone who can leave behind a lasting positive contribution.
Wonderful. And why do you think it's so important then? Let's say for youth today, why is it important for them to exercise their responsibilities as global citizens?
Well, for me, I think it's important that the youth of today do these sorts of things because they'll be the ones who take over the world and will have the largest impact on the direction that society will take. And as Johnny said before, as role models, we believe it's our responsibility to inspire others who are younger than us to do something similar.
Thank you for that. So this is a little bit of a different question. I've seen the t-shirts, I've seen your website. I was really intrigued by the koi fish. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
So the actual idea behind the koi fish and the symbolism behind it is in many Asian cultures it represents wealth, love, and success.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, as an NGO that provides sari sari stores, we wish wealth and success upon everyone that we work with, right? So it represents that in Asian cultures, but coming from an international school, I feel like that permeates throughout all our cultures. So that's the reason why we chose it.
Okay, and when it comes to organizations, they usually have some kind of slogan or motto. What's yours?
Improving lives one cycle at a time.
I love it. I'm seeing a lot of synergies but behind the koi fish, behind the motto. It really fits in well. Okay, so as head of PR, any closing remarks?
Now, for those of you who are watching this, make sure to follow us on both Instagram and Facebook at Sari Cycle.
You belong on TV. And what about as assistant director of finance? What about you? Anything last to say?
Yeah, so if you want to learn more about us, please feel free to visit saricycle.org, our website. We'd love to have more people join.